What's going on YouTube? It's July 4th, 2024. This is Turf Type Talk Fescue in Texas. Out here trying to hit some of these localized dry spots in the lawn. And oh yeah, I forgot. It is still green. It's still alive here. It's actually got to a situation where I had to cut it. And by no means have we had any relief from the heat. I'm in Texas, and once it gets past June, you don't see like highs in the 80s until late September or maybe even October sometimes. So it's hot. I got some people that lingers on my page, which is all good, and they're just waiting for it to die off. Well, y'all gonna have to wait a little while longer because it's still here. And for the people who have tried this grass in my area, there's no magic stuff that's going on other than the items that I've been preaching, that I've learned over the years of what to put down here in order to keep this thing going. And mind you, I'm not just keeping it going, I'm keeping it green. Keeping it green is the biggest deal, because this grass will go dormant in extreme times, extreme heat and extreme cold. It'll tend to want to go dormant. And in keeping it green, that's the task at hand here. While I was edging the yard the other day, I saved a spot to show you guys. And by no means is this yard in its best shape. It's not thriving during the spring and fall like it does. It's just surviving right now. So I want to show you this fescue grass right there. That is thriving in amongst all that concrete right there. All that concrete. If it gets water, it could be from runoff, but it's most definitely hot. There is a little shade, but you have to understand that until late in the evening, it's about 5 o'clock now, but it's all sun pretty much until the evening. And yet that grass is still there. I left it there just to show you guys how this grass can handle some heat. And another thing that's undeniable is the local weather that we've had here. It's been extremely hot. 120 degrees heat index is very hot. So I'm saying that to say this, if your grass did suffer, it probably was fungus. I mean, it got Plithium blight, they got rhizoctonia, brown patch. There's so many different fungi out there that is a disease to the lawn that, when you lose some grass, if you're just thinking about heat, if you've been keeping the water on it, chances are it was a fungus. And that's assuming that you're doing the other protocols that I outlined to help me get here to this level. One of them being fertilize, not fertilizing. And if you do fertilize, we're only using organic. I've actually been using organic for a while now, not put any synthetic fertilizers, because the synthetic fertilizers, it's a double-edged sword right there. Probably a lot of the fungus issue we have is because of the use of synthetic fertilizers. That fertilizer really does a number on your soil and the microbes and the bacteria, even earthworms. They don't like the added salt that's inside those synthetic fertilizers, and it just really depletes the lawn. This fescue grass will respond greatly to more of an organic approach, meaning that you are clipping your grass, you are, instead of raking your leaves up, you are mulching them back into the lawn, and you are throwing organic matter down with organic fertilizer, and maybe even top dress it with compost. Those things are very favorable for this lawn, and it's do it for the fungus fighting capabilities, adding more good bacteria. Some fungus like take all root rot, they call it tar. The only thing that they did until recently for that fungus was treated with compost, and you just throwing extra the good bacteria in there that fights and eats the bad bacteria. Got the sprinklers going this morning. One of the things that I shifted was the time. I used to water a little earlier in the morning and try to be done by 8, 10 o'clock. All my watering would be done. Well, I've shifted to starting my watering at 8 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock. And I'm done by noon, I would say. And the reason for that is to combat the heat. It just gives me that much more relief for the lawn. And I'm using fungicides, and I'm also using organic matter, organic fertilizers. I'm using the molasses, all in which help the the organisms in the ground, the bacteria in the ground. That's helping fight fungus also. So the fungus pressure goes down here in the summertime as far as the humidity goes. So I'm not worried. Basically saying I'm not really worried about catching the fungus by watering a little later in the day, because it's so hot that it'll dry up. If I'm done by noon, there's not going to be any water left on the leaf blades. If I'm done by 12 p.m., there's not going to be any water left overnight when it gets dark. So that's the purpose of the adjustment of the time. Now, if you notice, I have these 2 trees here. Obviously, I get shade most of the day, most of the time up under the tree, but from here all the way over, this is pretty much prime sun all day. I see it's shaded now, but that's because the sun is just now rising, and it's gonna be from here on all day long. So this is my worst sun area. I have a little area in the middle down there, but this is the worst sun area, and this is the area that had, if you go looking at my July or August videos from last year, this is where the area was that had the most issues. But as you can see, no issues